Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. Hope you're doing well. Today's Memorial Day, so it's a little cool and drizzly here in Michigan. But before that, it was a pretty good weekend. Hope you've had a relaxing weekend overall. And gosh, hello, unofficial start of summer. I'm doing a VR here for John Wade Boggs fan, who has asked us to for recognizing his 2,000 subscriber count and surpassing that. So congrats, John. That is awesome. Before you know it, you'll be at 3,000, right where Wade Boggs ended up in terms of his hits. I'm doing a VR here for you where you asked us to talk about how being on YouTube has increased our enjoyment of the hobby as a whole. And I'm going to take a few minutes here and try to cover that. It's a pretty broad topic, but I tried thinking about it for here and there for the last few weeks. Because I've been doing a couple of other VRs of late as well. There are a lot of them out there right now. I got like one or two more I need to try to get done this week before they wrap up, I think. But I guess it comes down to two main things for how being on YouTube myself has increased my enjoyment of the hobby. And the first part is that if I didn't put myself out there and start a channel, and get in front of the camera, which took a while to, when I got back, it took a while to get to that point. It took me probably, oh gosh, I think my channel started in early 22. I got back in the hobby in 20 after being away for almost 30 years. So, and probably somewhere along that line in 20, I dove into YouTube, realized how much awesome baseball card content, vintage and modern, but mostly vintage is where I drifted toward in terms of my main interest. So I got into YouTube and eBay and all that, and finally I just the passion was there enough where it was just woke up something that had been dormant for a long time, to where I just wanted to be able to share. So if I didn't put myself out there, I wouldn't have been able to really enjoy sharing great pickups for myself that I was just so happy to add, but then wanted to share with the community, because I know they would we all support each other, I think, in terms of our hobby endeavor. And so when I showed my 53 Jackie Robinson, Topps Jackie Robinson a few months ago, the feedback I got on that was great. It's nice to recognize our wins, I guess you could say. I mean, here's another one that was really love picking up this T205 of John McGraw, and so just hearing the well done, way to go, great card. That just sort of. I mean, I don't need to hear it, of course. It's not necessary to have fun in the hobby, but gosh, does it add to the fun. It makes it so much more fun. And so, so it's nice to like I said, share great pickups with the community, but it works both ways. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. But, gosh, if I wasn't on YouTube myself, where I was more than just a commenter, and I probably commented on a few videos before finally starting my own channel. I can't remember how much I did that. It was probably not very much, to be honest, but if I hadn't started my own channel, put my face out there, which is a big hurdle to overcome, and for me, it was a big one, actually. I'm in some ways still a little surprised I did it, but it's 2+ years later, it's been a blast. It really has. But if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have reached out to Mike Moynihan, Baseball Collector, when he had this available, when he picked these awesome McGregor cards up. I reached out to him shortly after he showed this Willie Mays and a couple of other ones. I think he had Hank Aaron. We made a deal for this pretty quickly, and I was like, I love having this card. This is one of my absolute favorite cards in my whole collection, and this wouldn't have happened if I didn't put myself out there. I would not have reached out, in a unknown user way. If there's, I don't see myself willing. I don't think I will have done that. And if I had gotten a random ask about something, I mean, maybe I would entertain that if I was a channel and a non someone who didn't produce content themselves reached out. I mean, I have answered some questions on occasion that way, but at the same time, it's a lot more. It's a lot easier to engage when you kind of have a face to a name, et cetera, et cetera. So there's no way I would have picked up that awesome McGregor maze if I didn't start my own channel. In that way, in the same way, I would have never gone to the YouTube content creator event at Strongsville a couple months ago. I would not have gotten to meet Don Field of Dreams meet him for the first time, and I wouldn't have picked up this really awesome Ron Santo rookie card for 61 Topps that was kind of on my list to try to pick up at some point soon. So I was able to get this awesome card. And then at last year's National, which was my first, I went to that YouTube content creator event, which was fantastic. Would not have been able to do that, or just, would not have done that, of course. Probably wouldn't have even been at the National, frankly, if I didn't start my channel. But at that content creator event, had a great conversation with several people. Steve Vintage on Vintage was one of those people. The next day, we ended up walking the floor of the show on that Friday for, almost the whole afternoon. He introduced me to a few people that he knew along the way. One of those people was Brian B. Roth 6, who had a table at the National. And I didn't get anything from him at that point, but I would not have subscribed to his or joined his Card Soup group on Facebook. And then eventually I would not have picked up this fantastic 76 Johnny Bench from him. Probably either at the start of this year or maybe late last year. Love this card. Such an iconic card from the decade. And, it wasn't on my immediate must get, but it was a definite must get for me. I just didn't have it. And I absolutely love this example. So would not have picked this one up if all that didn't happen before that. So that's kind of the first part of that. The second part of that is just basically flip the coin over. I just love how how I've been able to being part of the card community, I guess you could say, being able to share in others' successes, whether it's through a comment, having already made that, whether we've met each other in person or just commenting on each other's videos, being able to share in others' successes, congratulate them on an awesome pickup. You kind of, it's sort of the old saying, I'm paraphrasing it, but you kind of get what you give. What you put out there kind of comes back at you into, maybe even more, maybe even in some ways more than what you put in. It's just, so just being able to participate in that way has been so fun, because this, this collecting thing can be such a solo endeavor, and often is, to be able to not make it as solo, to be able to share and see others' collections, get inspired to what you might want to add, kind of see something for the first time you maybe never saw before, and might want to look into someday to add. Just all those things have just made this, kind of collecting journey for me the last 4 years so special. So talking about sharing in other successes, I would not have, if I didn't start my own channel, at the National last year at the YouTube Content Creator event, I met up with Steel City DW Dan. He mentioned he wanted a 48 Bowman Kiner rookie card. He was trying to find one there. I happened to find one the next day. We had each other's contact info. I sent him an email, and what do you know? He ended up picking that card up. So I was happy to do that. It wouldn't have happened if I didn't start my channel. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to, kind of hold for a minute at the Strongsville event this past April. Orlando Collector's Dreams amazing T206 Red Tide Cobb. We talked about that for a couple minutes, and some other tobacco card era stuff that was just awesome. Every time I get a chance to talk with Orlando, it's just a joy. And so I also wouldn't have gotten to pass along the passing along the congrats on Darren's play ball 41 DiMaggio earlier this year. That was awesome to see. He's a big DiMaggio fan. I'm a Yankee fan. I hope to pick up a DiMaggio card possibly next year, my first. And so just, I loved passing along my congrats on that one. Same thing with baseball collector Mike's DeLong Garrett that he picked up a little while back on his Grail collection acquisition. I know he had been talking about that being a card he wanted for a long time. It was awesome to kind of just pass along a congrats there, especially since we kind of, talked a little bit here and there and, made a couple of deals actually too along the way. So that was awesome. It was great to, I've met Theo Clemente Collector a couple times, saw him briefly at the Nationals, saw him for a little bit here in Strongsville, or this year at Strongsville. And it was awesome to see his Bazooka Clemente getting a grade that he was hoping for. So loved seeing that. Same with Greg Midlife Cards. When he picked up that 49 Leaf Horn Spawn, an incredible 3. Just a fantastic card. And I got the chance to see that up close there, where kind of a group of us were kind of like in awe of that card for a bit, and it was just kind of great to see it up close, even for a little bit, and say congrats. That doesn't happen if I don't have my channel. One more example, at Strongsville, Steve Vintage on Vintage picked up a 69 Mantle and a Deacon Jones rookie, and he was really excited to get both of those, and it was cool to kind of be a part of that, kind of celebrating that with him. So just a few examples I wanted to share about how being in, kind of being on YouTube has really really enhanced my collecting experience. So did not think I'd be at this point in 2 years from when I started. So it's just been a lot of fun. And so John, thanks for the opportunity to kind of share a little bit here. I kind of had some notes on my laptop as I was going along here, but to kind of try to keep me in on the rails, so to speak, so I don't go in completely different tangents. But always like talking about the hobby and sharing in other people's successes, and sometimes sharing a few cards that that I've picked up that I've really enjoyed picking up and adding. So, all right, everyone, that'll do it for this video. John, thanks again. Have a great week, everybody. I will see you on the next one. Take care.